CAR thing?
Yeah, and I figured.
Well, I don't want to, let's go through the CAR.
Okay.
I don't have to. I'll go time.
You're at 9:40.
Okay. Give us about 7 minutes and we'll get you up here. So since today we're going to talk about economics and the real estate market, and Ray is the best at predicting interest rates, that at least the best that I've ever run into, and how real estate's going to be doing over this next year or two. I want to give you just a short snippet of what the CAR economist has reported this last week. As you know, Jordan, I think we did a program with, in fact, I think Jordan did a Zoom with us, didn't he? Yeah, he's
a while ago.
Yeah, he did. He's the CAR market update. He does one every week. And so just a couple of things I wanted to hit on in his slide presentation is that a lot of this, you know, can you make that full screen?
You on here, you want it?
Up here. So there we go. It's nice having a tech guy, isn't it?
I was like, it is full screen.
Okay, so this is, everybody knows that the trends are encouraging. As of next week, we're supposed to be back to normal. Now, CAR hasn't issued their statement yet as to what normal is, but what they're telling us is that no more PED forms, no more signing in as of the 15th.
Well, we'll wait till see our legal approval.
Yeah, but we haven't gotten the official word. So that's what we're predicting. And this is very interesting. If you can go back to that larger, so you have the larger up here. That next one?
No. That's it.
Can you go bigger? It was bigger.
How big do you want it?
You see it already? I thought this was really interesting. This is the first time this past week where more $1 million plus homes are selling than anything else. I mean, do you remember back, Susan, when $1 million was a Beverly Hills mansion? I mean, that was.
I remember when 300,000 pitched up on the hill.
Yeah, yeah. So all that means is just bigger commissions for it. So that's the trend. Next slide.
And $1 million is a dog.
Yeah, yeah, around here. And this is the price growth. So if what's interesting about this is you can see the dip here in prices. This was back in that credit crunch in the 06, 07 period. And we're obviously, we reached our peak a couple of years ago, our previous peak, and that Ray brings that up a lot, but we're much higher now. We're probably 20% more than that here in LA County. My brother's up in Tuscadero area, and they've just now reached their previous highs from 15 years ago. But we're seeing much stronger pricing down here in Southern California. Market time. Days on market, we all know this. This has been trending down to 7 days now, and sells to list price. So that means everything now is selling for more than list price on average. So pretty interesting stats. Over 2/3 of the homes are selling, 68% are selling above asking price. Again, this is California.
The asking price is aggressive to begin with.
List price. Yeah, not necessarily. You know, our strategy around here is we want sellers, and we can't always get them to do that, but we want sellers to price at what the last home sold for, or maybe a little less, because we want those multiple offers so that we can pick and choose who that buyer is and the financing and who the agent is, make sure. So we're
What
not.
I mean by aggressive is the seller is putting on a price that would have been on 2 years ago, and they're getting above it.
And they're getting correct. Yeah, but you know, the old school, 20 years ago, we would price a property to be on the market for a couple of months, and we would take something less. I mean, if it was a $500,000 house, we'd price it at 520, and we'd wait a few months, and that was, and now it's no, you price it at market, and you accept something above.
Anybody having appraisal nightmares with this?
Very rarely, and I'm amazed, because, you know, we've always had appraisal problems over the years, and it's rare. I mean, there may be one a month that I get amongst all of the agents here.
But everybody's got 20% down too.
Well, they're waiving the.
Well, I mean, if they're buying right now, they have to have 20%.
Yeah, they've got to have,
Nobody's having to bridge it. We have a client that had to bridge, the banks are letting, it's like a wild, wild west with the banks.
well,
Now they're letting everything appraise.
appraisers are more aggressive, and Jamie's not here, but he will, if the last property sold for 500, he'll appraise this one at 505, because they use that trending that, you know, we're going up 20% here in the South Bay a year. So they use that trending for the price. Years ago, they never did that. You know, they would only, you had to use the last 3 sales. Okay. Maintain the momentum. Okay, next. And this was his conclusion. Again, this is from Jordan.
That's it.
Okay, so that's our CAR update. Couple last announcements before we get into our program. I want to make sure that everybody's aware. Lisa is our transaction coordinator. Only $275. She will do all of your paperwork, right, Lisa? And make sure that you get paid on time when your escrow closes. Tomorrow is our lunch and learn. I'm hosting one on prospecting. This is a new prospecting one I just wrote up, and I'm calling it Prospecting It's a Numbers Game. So I've got some new stuff. One of the things I'm going to bring up, I'm not going to go through it now, but have you ever noticed in your travels around your neighborhood that when a new listing comes up, that within 30 days, usually another one comes up? Yeah. So there's been a big study on that. So I'm going to go through that, and that's a good way if you want to do some niche marketing, is just hit those neighbors of those new listings. You don't have to be in your farm area or whatever. So we'll talk about that on Thursday. I got to do my secret agent, and then we'll get Ray up here. So this is if you can guess who our secret agent is for the month of June. Our secret agent has been licensed in real estate for 17 years. Originally, the secret agent did loans for a couple of years before becoming a realtor. Previously worked as a court interpreter and at a couple law firms for about 16 years. One company specialized in criminal law, the other in family law. The secret agent has been with TRG for 10 years. Hobbies, they enjoy crafts, gardening, cooking, eating, camping. Our secret agent is active in the community, working with the 9/11 Help America organization that supports veterans, provides help with local food drives, blood drives. The secret agent is also a service club and church volunteer. Guesses, Jim? An interesting fact about our secret agent is that he or she is not a legal U.S. citizen, but is here legally. Did you know that you don't have to be a U.S. citizen to get your property?
You don't have to have your legal presence now.
Yeah, you don't have to have legal presence. Anybody can pass the test and become a real estate agent.
In California.
Yeah, this is just only the only state that I know. The secret agent snuck into America with a brother in the back of a station wagon in 1972, driven by a coyote, named Angie. The secret agent later met up with their dad in Northern California and attended school there. Secret agent has 4 brothers and sisters. The secret agent's dad was a semi-pro baseball player in the Mexican League. Loved baseball so much that he played baseball until he was in his 70s. The secret agent cannot vote in our government elections, but is proud to vote at the South Bay Association of Realtors. cast a vote there. Secret agent is a top producer in TRG, a listing agent specialist, but has never completed a CMA. Married for 30 years, has 3 grown children. One's an ex-Marine, one's a welder, one's a recent university graduate. Any guesses? Secret agent for June is Elva Where? Elva, stand up, take a bow. She literally came in the trunk of a car across the border.
You've been busy over. You've been busy.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to, I think everybody knows Ray, so I don't need to do an introduction. He's with Beverly Financial.
Beverly Drive Financial?
Beverly Drive. Oh, sorry, Beverly Drive Financial, gotta get the company straight. And he, a financial planner.
It's on the screen too.
He actually represents some of the agents here in TRG, and I'd be glad to make a plan for you personally to work on your financial goals. Ray, it's all yours.
Thank you. Caroline's here also, way over there in the corner. Let me ask you, the $710,000 house that you have, what would that have been worth 2-3 years ago?
Probably about 5.
Yeah. One of the things that I've been telling you for the last several years is the way you're going to get a house in a period of short inventory is you got to be the high payer. You stop nickel diming your offer. Come in and make a damn offer that is likely to prevail and slam everyone. You just got to come to grips with your client. Your buyer has to come to grips with the fact that they've got to make a generous offer or they're not going to get it. And if they don't get it, the longer they procrastinate and fool around nickel diming, the prices are going up. So they're going to pay up anyway. So you might as well get it over with. Then I think you really, one of the things that I've said is you need to, before you ever put them in a car to go to look at a house, now I guess you can't do that through remotely anyway, but you need to have a come to Jesus meeting with them about pricing. I mean, just get it straight. If you're not going to be the high bidder, we're not going to get it. That's the end of it. And I think you need to set them straight right out of the box. So that's number one. Number two, Derv said this is a crazy, crazy year. There's nothing crazy about it. People have saved a lot of money. There's been enormous stimulation from the government. Housing prices are going up because they're a good investment in money. Unlike, is Jonathan still here? Jonathan said money is, the interest rates are low. They're not low. They're almost free. The money is free. It's about as close to free as you're ever going to get. Warren Buffett says, if you don't have a mortgage today, you're out of your mind. It's free money. And I think you need to stop thinking around, is it 3.1 or 3.2? It's free money, for heaven's sake. It's never been this low. Will it get lower? I happen to think so, but fractionally. I mean, give it a rest already. Now, but don't look at me astounded. I've been telling you that for 12 years, right? Is that true?
Yeah, and I didn't believe you.
And you still don't.
I still don't. But you've been right.
I've been right. Now, I've been saying they're going to be lower. I'll give you an example. My brother-in-law, who's a doctor, doctors know nothing about money. They're really the worst. Worst investors in the world are doctors. Second worst are accountants and engineers, tied for second worst. So if your accountant says, let me look at the thing, honestly, run. They don't know what they're buying. They want the evidence that everything has gone up, and then they want to buy at the top. And same with engineers. They can't make a decision. But doctors' spouses are good investors. So don't ever talk to the doctor, to talk to their spouse, because they know that he or she's going to leave them anyway. They're either going to drop dead or get a divorce. So the money tree is going to stop. So they want to do well with their money. I'm serious about this. Doctors' spouses, who, if they're handling the money, they're generally good investors because they marry smart people, right? But the doctor themselves, they've got a money machine. They're sort of indifferent, so they take too much. Okay. Nonetheless, where the heck was I going? I can't remember, but pricing is going to continue to rise. Pricing is going to continue to rise.
You mentioned that everybody has money. Danny has a client that for both professionals, young. And because of this COVID, they haven't done anything for a year and they've
That's
saved, was it
The
$50,000?
savings rate is way up
Yeah.
nationally.
And they've never saved before that because they're always out,
Yeah,
going
spending.
places.
Spending.
And Danny said, and they went, and it's like, well, you got a down payment.
Yeah.
This is the best.
Well,
time.
as Jonathan said, the banks are becoming more liberal. The banks are flush with money. They don't know what to do with it. They don't even want your money, which is why they're not paying you any interest. They would like you to go away. They really don't have any use for your money. That's why they're paying you essentially nothing when you put money in the bank. As a matter of fact, in a number of European countries, if you put money in the bank, you have to pay them interest because they just don't want it. So they're trying to get it out. And if they can get it out at 2.5, 3, 3.5, they're thrilled, which is a miracle. I mean, so rates aren't likely to go up. And if they do, it would be so fractional, it's ridiculous. Oh, I know where I was going. My brother-in-law, who's a physician, whenever interest rates for mortgages were at 16.25, I told him to take a variable rate, stop the 30-year thing because rates are going down. He thought I was crazy. So we refinanced like every 3 months. It was ridiculous, right? Because we have to do all kind of paperwork to document their assets, et cetera, because they're our client. It drove me absolutely stark raving mad, but he just couldn't believe that they could go below 13 or 12 or 11. Are you kidding? But rates have gone down more than almost anything. They'll stay down. Here are some of the things to watch for. The worry of the day, the worry du jour is inflation. You see it every day in the paper and on the news, etc. Wall Street always climbs a wall of worry. So there's always something to worry about. Right now, it's inflation. And if you go out to the stores and whatnot, prices are up. There's no question because you've had everything frozen for well over a year now. So there's going to be a bit of a spike to catch up. I mean, that's almost a given. Nonetheless, because it's really just a product of pent up demand and delivery cycles being disturbed because you just couldn't get stuff done with everybody locked down. But two things to be mindful of. In order to attract workers back to work, a lot of companies are boosting wages and in some cases even giving bonuses for people to come in or stay. So there's more and more savings occurring. And right now people have the savings habit, as you were just saying. That may not last forever. They'll start opening up, but that's going to be a process. That won't be overnight. With the medical magic of vaccines, we are opening up. There's just no question. And California's going to open up next week. We're here without masks. We're here together. I mean, we're opening up. It's kind of over. One of the things that's amusing to me is the conservatives, like Dirk, didn't want to wear a mask. They would not put that damn mask on. Now that it's over, the liberals won't take the damn mask off. Right? I mean, it can't win. It's been so politicized, it's ridiculous. But we're getting there. I mean, we've got over almost 2/3 have had at least one vaccination nationwide. Consumer spending probably will pick up, but consumer savings will still be at a pretty high ratio. So again, banks are flush with money, so they will continue to lend very favorably. The Federal Reserve Board has 2 mandates since the Truman administration. Their official mandates. Does anyone know what the Fed's official mandates are, what their job is supposed to be?
I'm not that old, back to Truman.
Well, they still write about it, for God's sakes. You're not that old to know about the Roman Empire either. One of their mandates is to control the rate of inflation. What's the other one? To keep unemployment low. And that's a tough balancing act because historically, if you have really low unemployment, people have wages and money, so they're going to spend, and that's a problem for inflation. If unemployment is high, inflation tends to be low. That's the theory, yes? Does that make sense to you? Okay, you're wrong. Here's why. Remember in the 70s and 80s, unemployment was higher than in any time in our history except for the Great Depression. Inflation was the highest ever. we had 12 and 13% unemployment and 21% inflation. Unemployment now is very, very low, negligible. Inflation is negligible. So the Fed in the last 15 or 20 years, I mean, they've made mistakes over the years. There's no doubt about it. You know, I was never enamored with Greenspan, and the guy before him was, I think, dumber than a brick myself. But nonetheless, in the last 15 or 20 years, they've really had a wonderful track record. Unemployment has been low, inflation has been low, and sustainably. And that's where all of you find it incredible that interest rates would go down. When inflation goes down, interest rates go down, period. That's an axiom, end of subject. When inflation is low, interest is low. If inflation goes up, interest will go up. Does that make sense to you? They march in tandem. So the Fed has been able to keep unemployment low and inflation low. And they are confident they can sustain that momentum. I think you've got to give them the benefit of the doubt. I think you've got to stop worrying about inflation until they do. I think they know what they're doing about this. And they've illustrated that for a considerable period of time now, really since Bernanke, and maybe even before that, Yellen. I mean, they really, Yellen came back. Bernanke, Yellen, and this guy Powell have done, they've been on it. And we've done better than anyone. And any other theory hasn't worked as well as their potential. Now, Bernanke was an interesting guy. He was the chairman of the Federal Reserve Board, mostly through the Obama administration. He was appointed by Bush, but he was essentially through the Obama administration. And he was called Helicopter Ben by other economists, and that wasn't meant as a compliment. His PhD thesis at Princeton was, if we run into another recession, severe recession, almost depression, just fly helicopters overseas and drop money. I mean, people need money. Just like when you're hungry, you need food. We needed money. So they printed money and stimulated us out of it. And everybody thought that was crazy, but it worked. And that's what Powell has done. And that's what the government has been doing. We learned from it. We're stimulating even more. So the stimulation has sustained people through this difficult time. And the Biden administration is not ending that. A lot of people like to fuss about the debt and blah, blah, blah. But it really has kept us going through this period. And so there's a lot of money sloshing around. Where's that money going to go? It's going to go to Wall Street. It's going to go to Main Street for housing. So your business is going to stay robust. And this is not, how many of you, raise your hand if I'm right, do any of you worry this is another 08? Raise your hand if you do. Don't be shy. Anybody? Oh, you're
I hear it. I hear it from a lot of people.
I worry it's another formal republic, because with modern monetary theory and just dumping all this money, I think that there could be hyperinflation.
Yeah, well, so far that's not been the case.
So can you talk to that about inflation? Because my understanding is nationally, we're still at 2% or less range. But when we go to the store, I mean, everything has gone up considerably more than that.
Yeah, there's a spike. There's a spike coming out of the pandemic. Just like there was a spike coming out of price controls out of World War II and out of the Nixon administration and so on. You'll get a spike, but that tends to level off. So let me
How does
address that now.
how does the national stay at the 2%? For the goods and services, is it just not figured in that? Into that?
Is what not figured?
The two, how do we have a national inflation rate of 2% or less?
Here's how. You may pay an extra dollar for a pound of fish, but your mortgage rate has gone down hundreds or thousands of dollars a month. You may pay an extra, and by the way, inflation never counts sales. But when you go to buy anything today, it's on sale.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I went to, what's the name of that market? Not Gelson's. What's the other real expensive one?
Whole Foods.
Well, it wasn't Whole Foods either.
Bristol Farms.
Bristol Farm. I went to Bristol Farm. My wife likes halibut. They give you a half, if you bought a half pound, they give you a half pound free. It's like, that's a sale.
But it's $40 a pound.
No, it is $40 a pound. Get over it. Don't act so old. But it was I got a pound for 20 bucks, right? Everything's on sale. If you go to any clothing store or whatever, I mean, if you buy, it's hard to buy something full price. Right? It's pretty hard to do. I mean, money is on sale. In a capitalistic society, the price of capital is on sale. It's really inexpensive. True? So you have a low rate of inflation because of it. And, you know, will that change with our battles with the Chinese economy and so on, when prices go up because we produce more here, et cetera? So far, that hasn't been the case. We're still buying from cheapest countries and whatnot. For a lot of those
I
items.
think Jordan said it was, after the pandemic, it's 4 to 5% right now, at least for
Yeah, right now
California.
it's spiking.
But we also had 6 months where nobody bought anything.
That, yeah, it's
So
spiking.
it's gonna average out.
But one of the things that will end that spike is, it's mostly, will it get ingrained in wages? If wages continue to go up, people have money, they'll start spending.
Well,
So,
they will in California.
yeah, but the vaccines will put more people to work. And when school starts and kids go back to school, more people will be able to enter the workforce. Because a lot of people have to be home with their children. I mean, Caroline has 2 young children. I mean, she struggles with that. She can't wait to ditch these kids. But,
She wants to go in the office.
I mean, it's like, get out. Right? Is that true, Caroline? And she used to love it, but now she wants to ditch them. I don't know, do you still love it? Are we like Germany after the war? You know, not really. I mean, there have always been a lot of these theories that just haven't held up, like the rate of debt. Japan, ever since really the 80s, I've been fascinated by this idea of there's a natural rate of unemployment, one of the economic theories. So if you got below 6.5% rate of unemployment, that would be inflationary. Well, at the time I was thinking that doesn't make any sense. Germany was below, they were like 3.5%, and Japan was essentially none in the 80s. Their inflation rate was negligible. We had really high unemployment in the 80s, and our inflation was through the roof. So I'm thinking that theory doesn't make any sense to me. So that kind of went out the window. And now that once our inflation and unemployment both went down in tandem, I'm thinking, you know, that doesn't hold up to me. That seems like a ridiculous theory. Okay, the other one was our great rate of debt. It depends on what you use the debt for. Our greatest level of debt ever was right after World War II, not terribly surprising. Percent of the gross domestic product. Right now, we're around 100%, which is high. But we not have inflation. They have other issues, but they don't have inflation. Their major issue is an aging population. Germany has a debt ratio that is close to us. They don't have an inflation problem. They too have an age problem. The Japanese, the Germans, they don't tend to take in immigrants much, and so their aging economy is very old. Actually, some people who study demographics theorize that Italy may not have enough people because they're not giving, you know, they're not birthing anyone. They may not have enough people to be a viable country by 2050 or 2060, which is shocking, which is really amazing. So these suave Italian guys who kiss your hand and all that, they're not doing anything. They're not coming through. So I'm not worried about that. Because I think we spend our money rather wisely. Now, when you have this enormous spike of spending coming out of the pandemic, you do have to sit back and say, are we every minute? But this was an emergency. I mean, hopefully that'll calm down again. So we do spend our money pretty wisely, and you know that just by looking around. One of the things that amazes me, realtors often do worry about national debt. But one of the areas, your business is predicated on debt, but it's good debt. There's good debt and bad debt. I mean, if you're just getting into debt to go out to a lavish dinner, that's a lot different than getting into debt to buy an asset, like your home. So your whole business is predicated on debt. You're like debt advocates, right? And it works because it's good debt. So most of the United States debt is good debt. Some of it isn't, of course. I mean, it's an enormous enterprise. It's actually an unfathomable enterprise, the United States government. So, and people are always kvetching about it, so they keep it under pretty good control. But nonetheless, the Fed does not believe inflation will be our problem. Never, ever fight the Fed. Never fight the Fed. If you do, you'll have made a mistake. So your interest rates are going to stay low. They may go up fractionally. Surprisingly, they haven't yet. Is that true, Jonathan? They have not really, right?
No.
Yeah. And if they do, it would be marginal. I don't think they will. I think they may even slip a tad lower. But we're kind of there. I mean, there's not a lot of downside room, and I don't think there will be much upside. The UCLA Anderson School of Business came out with their forecast for the next year. They think we will be in a boom and a non-inflationary boom because workers will be, particularly with the opening of schools, will be able to attract enough workers to keep wages from running away. So I think they're right. Also, the World Bank has forecasted that the world will see the fastest rebound economically at any time in the last 80 years. Now think about when 80 years ago was, 1941, World War II, big rebound because everything was going full blast for the war. So they're looking for the fastest economic recovery since World War II coming out of the Great Depression. UCLA is looking for an economic boom, especially in California. You're in a golden era. You should be working your guts out. This is it. You're going to miss out if you don't. One of the things Jonathan, I think, was saying is that I didn't get the whole thing, but if you have self-employed and can't document your income, you can now get loans or something like that. Well, let me just tell you, Bezos is he can't document his income. With tax returns, there was a thing on TV yesterday that he earns $3.8 billion and pay no tax, zero. So I don't know, maybe you won't give him a loan, right? I mean, we're in a world where people can have a lot of money even though they don't have it in their tax return. There's no doubt about that. And Derv said, I think he said, interest rates are still low. They're not low, they're free. I think you need to really pound this kind of stuff home to people because you'll be right and you'll help them make a decision they will not regret. I can't tell you how many times I've said that in front of this organization. Get them to pay the high, get them to buy the thing, they will thank you. Anybody who did that a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago will thank you. This is not another 08. In 08, people didn't want a home. They wanted 5 of them in a place in the back hills of Tennessee that they've never been. I mean, it was nuts. That isn't happening now. That just isn't happening. People are buying, they can't even buy one home because there's no inventory. So there's none of this kind of nuttiness going on. Does that make sense to you? No, it does not make sense to you? You think people are buying homes willy-nilly in places they've never been and 4 and 5 of them?
No, the problem is the price.
I think it's totally crazy out there.
I know you think it's crazy, but are they buying 3 and 4 and 5 homes, particularly in areas they've never been?
I'm seeing something even more staggering. 500 firefighters from LA City live outside the state and commute in. That's crazy.
That's not my question. That's you can whine all about it for the firefighters. Is anybody you know buying 4 and 5 and 6 homes, particularly in areas they've never been? They can't get them.
No, you can't.
So the answer to that is no, they're not. I mean, firefighters have their own problem. Firefighters love to whine. I mean, they make more money than you believe. They like to complain.
But
That's a
you
joke.
have
That's a
the
joke.
point.
It is not crazy. Money is free. People need a place to live. There's a shortage of building. Now, there's no question that the building laws have made a lot of this issue. But it's not, we like to whine about that in California. California is a golden state, and everybody likes to complain. It's amazing to me. I mean, I moved here, it's like, really? Why is everybody so miserable about move? At any rate, this shortage is nationwide. It's not just here. It's worldwide. It's not just here. So it's not about how stupid the politicians are in California and everything else. It's everywhere. We are short of places to build. We want an environment that is different than it used to be, where people pile on top of each other. We just do. And people don't want. What was the average size of a house when I was a kid? I think it was something like 900 square feet. Now, the average size of a house is considerably larger. I don't know what it is, but I think it's more than double that, I think. We want a different environment than in the old days. So it's harder to do it anywhere, not just in California, anywhere.
How do you think the advent of Zoom, with people being able to only go into the office, a few times a month, how is that affecting the local area?
Yeah, there was an article, I think it was on the internet this morning, or maybe in the paper, but I got into the office early today. It does affect. There's no question. You can move further, et cetera. But they said that 60% of new home buyers in the last 2 years have still moved very close to where they were. They're not really moving as distantly as folk wisdom says, according to that. I just glanced at that this morning. I don't even think I read the whole article, but I was intrigued by it. Another thing to be aware of, by the way, I always love this statistic, but the average commute from the beginning of time to now has never changed. It's 20 minutes. The average commute. The Romans used to walk for 20 minutes. Then you got a horse for 20 minutes. Now you have a car for 20 minutes. The average commute worldwide has always been 20 minutes. I'm fascinated with that. I guess at 21 minutes we freak out.
Nature of the beast.
Yeah, it's what we're accustomed to. Now there are people you hear. I have a brand new client. He's a retiring teacher, and he's going to move. But before he retired, he commuted from the Grapevine to Glendale. I think the guy's nuts. I mean, that's got to be an incredibly difficult commute. He did it for 17 years. That's not average. But on the other hand, I live 5 blocks from where I work, so I help bring his numbers down. I can walk to work. So the average commute is 20 minutes. And that seems always to have been the case. People will work it out. So Zoom, their commute is 2 steps to the dining room table or whatever, And I think you're going to get more of that. I think we've learned you can do it. A lot of people can do it. But people also want the interaction.
Not effectively. People can do it, but.
No, I think it depends on the business you're in. You might even be able to do it effectively, but we miss the contact. We're social beings. We missed the chatter and the exchange of ideas and so on. So people will still want to go in, but maybe not every day. Maybe a more leisurely, half and half type stuff. Now, Caroline's husband, who works in HR for Kaiser, they're not letting them back in because they've taken their offices and repurposed them. So he's got to work at home essentially, except for like 1 day a week or 1 day a month or something like that. I don't know how long that'll last. They may rethink it, but that's
She really wants to go in the office then now.
but that's their status for the moment. So I think a lot of companies look at the low overhead of rent and so on too, so forcing that issue to some extent, as much as they can to lower overhead. I mean, man, if you can get rid of, thousands of square footage and not pay the rent on it, that hits your bottom line rather nicely. So a lot of organizations are
Commercial
going to
real
do that.
estate may change.
Say it again?
Commercial real estate may.
I think so, yeah. But we're on South Beverly Drive in Beverly Hills, and through the pandemic, we had a lot of closures. I'm astounded how many of them have been leased pretty quickly. They're leasing up. Now, it's a dynamic street.
The bigger going down, moving down.
I guess, but I'm really impressed. I thought we were gonna be in a ghost town street for quite a while. Not at all. I mean, we're back. I was really surprised. So you're in a boom period. I think if you don't hustle, you're crazy. This is a good opportunity to score. You got to get listings, and that's not easy. Some of the more dynamic areas, because you can still get availability and the pricing, are places like Riverside and Sacramento. You know these areas better than I do. But Durf is right. The over $1 million houses are selling because they've got money and they don't know what the hell to do with it. I mean, there's a lot of money sloshing around.
What's your answer when people bring up the homeless everywhere? How do you respond to that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it is everywhere. I don't know. The homeless thing started during the Reagan administration. He had this romantic idea that if people are out of the institutions, the community will provide for them, but that is broken down. So I don't know. And I grew up in slummy areas in Pittsburgh, and there were a lot of burnt out World War II veterans and Depression people. We really were just scarred. And I know that it's a tough problem, and they're scary, and it's all of that. And I don't know what to do about it. I mean, I don't know. Yes.
So Ray, from talking to my clients and the ones that keep getting outfitted on these homes, they're like, oh, well, when are they gonna vend? And I said, I don't know, there's just no inventory. So I think I work with a lot of employees over at Robinson Helicopter. A lot of them got, laid off. They give them 3 notices to come back, and some say, no, I'm not coming back because I get more money getting unemployment.
That'll end.
Yes,
That'll end.
okay, so when that ends, and now they're going back to get a job, they're not gonna get that job because they were sent.
Go get some other job.
Okay, but they're gonna get another job, but that job that's gonna be open, 20 people are gonna apply for it, and they're not gonna get it. So now they're not gonna find a job, it's gonna be hard for them. So how are they gonna make the mortgage payment? Do you
They
think
will.
that-
They'll get a job. There are plenty of jobs. Right now, we're begging for employees. And you're right, people are gonna go back to work. They're gonna go back to work because the stimulus will start to wind down, because schools will open. Big factor is schools will open. A lot of
And
parents.
there's enough, do you foresee that there will be enough jobs for, enough?
Yeah, unemployment is
Okay,
so low. We need workers.
okay.
So, yeah, there will be jobs. Will they get a job at the same pay? Probably. But, I mean, that, maybe not this guy, but that guy will get more. I mean, it has to balance out. If they're making that decision with the notion that that job may not be available later, they're making a foolish decision. I mean, they have to have a little bit of foresight that if the stimulus ends, maybe they should be taking that helicopter job here and now. I mean, that's their problem. But yeah, there's jobs. There are plenty of jobs. Right now, jobs are not our problem. Will they ever be again? Someday, but not right now, yes.
Do you have any thoughts on what's gonna happen to all these people that are on forbearance and moratorium?
I don't.
Default?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, you're going to get, nothing is a smooth curve. So, but I don't. And we have a client, she's delightful, and she owns a duplex. She rented one of the units, I guess, to a dear friend of hers. And they're not friends anymore. This woman just said, I'm not paying you. Hell, I don't know what she's going to do about that. I mean, it's an issue for sure. But these are issues that it'll be clunky, but we'll recover from. The worst is behind us.
I was wondering if anybody has a feel about how many people are on moratorium. Because I talk
I
to my
don't.
clients, I'm kind of surprised at my clients who are on it and my clients who aren't on it. And I'm just like thinking, gee, would that be setting up something, a different market, say a year from now?
You got me. I don't know.
CR has stats on that.
Okay.
Do they?
Yeah, but, it's amazing. Wayne in our office is a property manager, and he's in the higher end, the South Bay beach areas. And it's rare that any of his tenants are not paying rent. But I'm sure it's completely different. And
I think it's
yeah,
mainly the mom and pop that own 1 to 3 units themselves. They also don't have the experience that a property manager does, so they're the ones that are gonna suffer.
I was thinking more of the mortgages, not so much of the income property.
Well, I mean,
Because I don't
I'm sure
do
most of
much
the people have
income
mortgages though
property.
too.
gonna help you handle that.
Okay, so the reason I come here, I do believe, I'm in agreement with UCLA's Anderson School. We're gonna have a boom, and we're already started. I agree with the World Bank that we're gonna have a boom, and it's already started. If you're an investor, you probably have too much money relatively idle. That's all. The only reason I come down here, I'm sure you're all lovely people, but I'd rather have breakfast with my wife. I don't even know you people. We want you to make an appointment with us to talk to us about your investments. Most people are sitting on their hands on this. Those who are not are doing rather well. We think you have an opportunity here, and don't miss it. So we'd love to have any of you schedule an appointment with us. And those of you who are on Zoom can do that by calling us or going to our Calendly or calling Durf, and he'll put you in touch. But I really would encourage you. I think it'd be foolish to let this time pass. I really do. We want business no matter what the environment is, just like you guys in your business. But I do think you're in a magical moment here, and I don't think you should screw it up. Now, if it's not us, you should be dealing with somebody. Obviously, we vote for us, but if not us, somebody. You want to not sit on your hands with your retirement accounts, etc. Do not sit on your hands. This is a moment that you will regret letting it slide. So I'm telling you, get to it. Hopefully with us, but if not us, somebody that you have confidence in. Okay. All right. When we speak in public, by compliance, we must have record of attendees. I don't know how they deal with this for Zoom stuff because we can't do it, but if you would please fill these out. We just need the date, where you are, and your name. If you have any other comments or if you want an appointment, please feel free to do that too. But we do need the date, the location, and name. Can I get some help with this? So I would like those back before you leave. It is a compliance thing. And really do indeed address your investment circumstances.
Who's the ninth? Oh, the ninth. Yeah.
When I think about the great restart, and when they said in 10 years you will own nothing and you'll be happy, do you think that that will come to fruition? Because the World Economic Bank is behind that, aren't they?
I don't. I think we may own cars. We may not own bicycles because we may not own scooters. I think we'll still own cars and houses.
The rabbits didn't.
I think there are some marginal sort of recreational
You
things.
get to leave.
But overall,
He'll be on, he has his own lunch now.
We got lunch and learn?
I don't think human nature.
Okay, so while you're filling that out, I've got to brag here. Where's Mike? Wave your hand. So I've got this love letter that was sent. My name is Becky Peraza, and I'm writing you regarding your agent, Mike Wren. Don't worry, Mike, it's good. Mike is a he looked a little concerned. Mike is a longtime family friend, so when it came to the very difficult decision to sell my mom's home of 56 years, there was no question that we wanted Mike to handle it. During the entire process, Mike was amazing. He explained everything so we could understand each step. He went above and beyond every way. We couldn't have gotten through it without his knowledge, extreme kindness, and continued patience. We are so grateful for all that he did. You are truly blessed to have Mike on your team. Beverly Peraza. Thank you. Okay. I've had this, I've been holding on to this for months and I haven't seen you, and I wanted to make sure that you heard it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. And we've got drawings. Do we have,
Yeah, it's
This is for
$25
everybody.
gift cards to Home Depot from Andy's Termite.
oh, excellent. Okay, so as you know, each month now, we're doing 2 drawings. One drawing is only of the people that are here,
And on
right?
Zoom.
And on Zoom.
This
Is that one that you're
is
doing?
everybody.
Okay, so first we're gonna do an everybody drawing, but in order to win it, you have to be either on Zoom or be present, otherwise it carries over.
And Susan won that last month. She
Yep.
won 3 gift cards.
And
Yeah,
the winner this time would be Mina, and she's not on Zoom or that. So
okay, so Mina was,
Home Depot gift card, and straight into my garden.
Yes.
good. So Mina's will carry over, so that means it'll be 2 gift cards next month for
Yes.
that one. And now this one will be for everybody that's in attendance.
Yep.
And the winner is,
Zoom's a little slow. It's going faster than that.
You spit it
you gotta
hard.
love this.
Boy, spit it hard.
We need to get the Jeopardy music going in the background here.
I think it's gonna be Dorinda.
Can I announce that? Is that stopped?
Yes.
Dorinda,
She's on.
yay, we got the confetti. Congratulations. Dorinda, get in touch with me and we'll get it to you.
Yeah.
Okay. What's next?
We're done.
Birthdays.
Birthdays, that's right. Who has June birthdays? Do we have a birthday in June? Nobody? I don't have to sing happy birthday?
Wish everybody a happy Father's Day.
Oh, that's a good idea. Excellent idea.
Yes.
Thank you, Elva.
It's only
and-
June birthdays. I guess we'll do May birthdays instead. Carpool didn't save.
May doesn't count. May doesn't count. But we do have birthday cake, and thank you everybody. Thank you for those that showed up today. We really appreciate it. Every month now, first Wednesday of the month, rest of the year, we will be here. Make it a great day. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.